Budgeting is a complete waste of time, unless you do it right. Stop wasting time just moving numbers around. Quit letting budgeting feel restrictive and painful.
Yep.
Actually, just quit budgeting. It's time to do something different. We like to call it cash flow management, and it can be way easier than you think.
Hey, and welcome to Wealth Wisdom Financial. We believe when conventional financial thinking doesn't get you where you want to go, you need wealth wisdom. So don't forget, hit that subscribe button. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like button and give us a comment below. We want to hear from you to know that, hey, we're not just talking to ourselves. I mean, I like talking to you, but I like to hear from you guys too. So you know how people claim you can save time by doing this or that, like you can save time, right? Well, we say you can't say, in general, you can't save time. Saving time is a myth. I mean, think about it. Time is not a renewable resource. I mean, you can waste it, but you can't really save it like you can a physical item or money, right? It's just not possible. Time isn't bankable. You can't put it into a bank account and pull it out for later, right? It just doesn't work that way. It passes no matter what. Some people say time is money, but we want to be clear that the amount of time you invest in your budget doesn't actually increase the amount of money that you have either.
It's not a direct correlation. Just the more time you spend budgeting does not mean you will have more money.
Yeah. So what if you could invest as little time as possible in cash flow management and still see your net worth grow? Would that be worth your time or any of that? Like, again, just trying to figure out what is that?
Yeah, like with anything, we want to be efficient, we want to be productive with how we engage with money. So how do you make sure you don't waste time on budgeting? Or if you prefer, maybe rephrase the question, how do you still engage with money in a positive way without wasting your time?
Yeah, that's the main thing of making sure we're doing what's right, making sure that the time thing is good, right?
Yeah, we've got 3 ideas for you today on how you can stop wasting time budgeting. The first one, and all of these 3 have been very transformative for us. So we're just sharing from our personal experience, things that work for us that you might try for yourself. The first one, we've actually taken our engaging with money, our cash flow management system, and we've developed it into a method that we created called the STILL method. STILL is an acronym, and it's a way that you can engage with your money without feeling restricted, budgeting, and make sure that you're making the most use and best use of your time.
Yeah, I think that sometimes with doing even financial analysis and time management with clients or talking to them, a lot of times they haven't actually, in the STILL method, they haven't set their sights. They haven't actually set goals or any kind of plan. They don't even know. They're just kind of sleepwalking through life, right? And so what we want to do, and really you have to do it, I can't do it, but it's setting your sights. What do you want, right? And figuring that out. So then you have you're able to allocate the time towards that instead of wondering, where did it all go? Where did that time end up? And so what we've developed is that STILL method, and you can go to stillmethod.com to get that playbook. And really in the STILL method, it's really good date night material because as we work together or talk with our spouses, we can ask, what are your goals? What do you want to accomplish? And budgeting or managing cash flow, that just helps us orient. But if we don't know where we want to go, how can we expect any results?
Yeah, so that STILL is an acronym, the S. The very first step is to set your sights. Dreaming, visioning, setting goals, however you want to set your sights, that's what you do first.
Yep.
And what's amazing is that from there, you can then start to prioritize rather than cut. That's our second idea for you, is rather than cutting, saying, well, we've got to cut back here, we've got to be restrictive, we can't do this anymore, those kind of phrases. You can say, well, this is where we want to go. This is our dream, our vision, our goals. How can we make sure those things happen first? And then everything else can kind of happen from there. And what's amazing about that is when you prioritize and you put the most important things first, you don't even get to a lot of those things that aren't a priority, and it saves you money. It's cutting out the waste. And if we're thinking time-wise, if you've dreamed, you've set your sights, you know where you're going, then also when you do engage with money, you can prioritize what things do you want to track, what is most important to look at, rather than wasting your time on things that aren't going to move the needle, to use a cliche.
I think that's something for us in prioritizing. Something that we've learned is we like experiences versus stuff, right? And so we could spend things on nice watches or things like that, which isn't really a priority to me. I like to be able to tell time, like literally, but I don't need a Rolex. So, and my main thing for us is, okay, I do want awesome trips and those kind of things. So how do we prioritize that into our cash flow system?
Yeah. So you really have two options, okay? If you've set your sights, you're setting those priorities, you're staying focused on those rather than cutting back. You really have two options at this point. The first option, you could watch every penny. Make sure it's going where you want it to go, and you have the money you need to put toward the major things you really want. Get into it, get the software, do the spreadsheet, track every penny that goes through your hands and where it's going so that you make sure you're prioritizing. Or B, other option, save first. Put those priorities at the top of what you do on a regular basis, and you'll probably have to save for some of those things. Typically what's a priority is going to cost you more than than $2, right? So you've got to put your money there first and then let everything else work itself out. We chose to actually save first for what was most important to us. Things like buying a home, making sure we could have an emergency fund and an opportunity fund to grow our business. Those kind of things were super important to us. We started saving on the first of the month, every single month, starting in December 1st of 2013. And we've been doing this for 9+ years now. And it's been so good for just saying, okay, this is the money that we're going to have for our priorities, for what's most important to us long term. And we're going to do that first. And then it won't matter as much if we go to that local coffee shop and get a $7 mocha.
Yeah, and I want to pull out this book that we have.
Here.
It's called The Richest Man in Babylon. Now, this book really helped me think about it. And again, it's a story kind of book, but it helped me to think about, one of the goals was, rules, 10% of all you earn is for you to keep. It was just about allocating resources and time in an efficient way. So really,
and actually, before we move on from this book, I've got to warn you ladies, there's like one female in this whole book. If you'd like to see me create like a richest woman in the world type book or something, comment below. Let me know if you want a female version for this. So let's speak a minute to everybody who is out there who might be like, wait a minute, but all you contrarians like us out there, we hear you, we see you. This is where a lot of you say, well, yeah, sure, I might be saving first, thinking about those long-term priorities, but something always comes up. I end up tapping into that savings. Can't ever reach that goal because life happens. I don't have much accumulated for the long term. Brennan, what would you say to those folks?
I would say, again, we want to focus on prioritizing our goals and our dreams rather than cutting back. Things do happen. We do know that, life gets in the way, but, what are those things that we can prioritize, those goals? Again, looking at the STILL method and thinking through what is that. Even if it's a little bit, we didn't go as far as we wanted, because the dreams as a business owner, man, I want to take over the world yesterday, right? But but knowing those little baby steps that get there, right? And so really thinking about your goals and your dreams and how does your time impact and influence all that other areas.
And I would add to that, when life happens, when the thing comes up and you're tempted to
something hits the fan.
Yeah, you're tempted to tap into that big dream fund in order to get through that thing that came up or that opportunity. Remember, just because you can or you could, you have the money, you could do it, doesn't mean that you should. If you need a new car and you have this big lump sum there sitting waiting for that dream, just because you could buy the Lamborghini when you would have bought the Toyota doesn't mean you buy the Lamborghini. Because you remember that priority, that goal, that thing that money is there for, right? That down payment on a house, that real estate investing fund, that business startup fund, that bigger dream. Yeah, I'll take the Toyota any day to make sure that thing happens. And you keep that clarity, and you can get creative then. If it is some kind of emergency that comes up, you can get creative of how could I solve this emergency without tapping into that big dream or letting that big dream never happen.
Yeah, so we love working with individuals and families who are ready to save first, and they're ready to save for their future, but they also want to keep money accessible in case something happens, if they emergency or otherwise, when you need it or don't need it, right? So we would love to help you any way we can. So if you want to, go to wealthwisdomfp.com and schedule a discovery call with us, and we'd love to help you orient your time budget and your money budget and align them together, maybe possibly using the STILL method.
Yeah, and I think everybody will want to do that. You said if you want to. I think everybody, you should want to, because it's really, you can save your time, you can save your money by adopting and committing to your financial future. Things like saving first, focusing on your priorities, your goals, your dreams, rather than cutting back. Your joy is at stake here, and it might surprise you just how little joy costs. So go, get that discovery call scheduled. It's wealthwisdomfp.com. Really simple, 15-minute conversation. We'll answer your initial questions and see if we're a good fit to work together. For now, thanks for joining us. Hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss what's coming up in our future episodes. We're going to be talking a lot about efficiency, productivity. How can you save money, save time, not in a bank, but making sure you've got time for what's most important to you. And may you live long and profit.
The topics presented in this podcast are for general information only and not for the purpose of providing legal, accounting, or investment advice. On such matters, please consult a professional who knows your specific situation.